happy? Vincent? We happy?
Yeah, we happy.
You're late to work, who gives a fuck? It's your life, bitch! Fuck you, boss, I'm late! I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late! What you gonna be doing about it? I said I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late! You gonna fire me? There's no one else here, bitch! Late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late! You gonna fire me? That's cute! Late, 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 late! Ah.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best. Okay. It's not like,
man. Thank goodness.
Welcome to the HEX Late Show. It's 43OG here with you on a Tuesday evening. Let me open up my can of sparkling water infused with blood orange and mango. Yes. So the AI outsmarted me. Absolutely. I was trying to get the AI to make me a picture of oh, hang on, Sammy's here. Hey, Sammy.
Hey, yo, how are ya?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. It's hot, isn't it?
It is. We had the aircon on, but I've just switched it off now for the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it hot? It's hot out your way as well, I'm guessing.
Oh, it's been damn hot all day, and you don't even want to know what I'm wearing. I'm not even wearing makeup today because it's just going to slide off my face. But hey, everybody, what's new? 43.
I was just saying how I got outsmarted by AI because I was, when you use AI to make images, I started trying to make it trick it into making me a naked woman because it won't do it. It will say, "Oh no, sorry, we can't do that. That's outside." It's outside of our parameters. So I was trying to I'm like, how smart is AI? Like, how smart can it so I started okay, give me a woman in a bathing suit that has skin colored bathing suit that's indistinguishable from her skin.
Oh.
I'm just trying to trick it into doing shit. It didn't fucking work. Did not work for me.
It
So-
knows all the tricks, mate. It's smarter than you
Way smarter than me.
and me.
But that was yeah. I was only doing that for about 5 minutes. It's not like I spent much time on it. But yeah. So what's happening in the world of HEX? We are crab walking along, as far as the chart goes. Crab walking along. I've
No.
seen every man and his dog post about Richard Hart getting served. Apparently, I can't I don't know what's true, what's not.
No.
There's no
You don't
there's no
know.
real way to know. I think half of the stuff that you read on Twitter is they've just read someone else's post and they're just reposting it.
Yeah.
So, from what I understand, I don't think he's been served in person anyway. If he has been served, or maybe I think what I understood out of it is that they're claiming he's been served.
Yeah.
That's the claim.
Well,
So
they've
whether or not-
served his prior address, which is the library.
Yeah. So whether or not that will, I mean, I'm not familiar with the US judicial system when it comes to this sort of stuff. So I assume that the judge may not, like, it's an assumption. You can't just hammer you can't just nail a fucking document to a door and expect that to mean that someone's been served.
Well,
That's
I've got a friend who actually works in the courts over in the US, and she's tried to put stuff into perspective, and I can summarize what she said if you like.
please
because
do.
she works in the courts every day. So she says the SEC filed a document saying they served him, but the judge still needs to accept it. He was not served in person. They hired a process server, and he tried to serve RH at the place where he supposedly resides, according to city records. No proof if he even lives or still there. According to the SEC, they followed local rule section 7, 1056, 1991. When a process server has, for the purpose of service of a notice, sought a person with a known residence in Finland but has not found him or her or any person competent to receive service in his or her stead, and it may be assumed on the basis of the circumstances that he or she is evading the service of the notice, the process server may serve the notice by delivering the documents to a household member who has reached the age of 15 years, or if the said person conducts a business, to a person employed in this business. If none of the above can be found, service of the notice may be performed by delivering the documents to the local police authority. 10/31/23, the service stated they served the documents not to a person but dropped it off at the local police authority. 11/07/23, the SEC received a letter from the server. 12/10/23, the SEC files the US court the notice of service. The SEC knew about the status of the service done. And then 11/21/23, SEC filed documents saying they did not have confirmation of service on defendant. They lied to the court because they got a response from the server on 11/07/23 prior to the day they asked the judge for an extension. And
Did
she
you say
said
they lied? Did you say they lied?
Yeah. They lied to the court because they got a response from the server on the 11/07/23 prior to the day they asked the judge for an extension. And this person says, I think the SEC is hiding information from the court to interfere with justice. So that was quite interesting.
Well, there's two things we can ascertain from that what you just read there. The first thing is that Richard Hart does not indeed have any family members living at that address, and or any employees or business associates living at that address. Otherwise, they would have served to those people.
Yeah,
Given what you
exactly.
read, so they've left them at the police station. Yeah.
Yeah, and hi Claz, hi Bobby. Nuclear Herbs, if you're not following him on Twitter, have a look, because he's basically an attorney with experience with the SEC. And he's trying to make sense for everybody.
Right. I'm just reading Bob Laguy's message. It's been a long time since I listened without running 2x speed. You both sound like you're toked out of your brain. No, I sound as slow. This is how I sound, slow and dumb.
It must be the heat. Must be
It's
the
the
heat.
Yeah. I'm gonna blame
It's
the
like real hot in Victoria. Even Clash, you won't believe it because I know that in Perth you guys get hot over there every day. But in Vic, this is probably our first hot day in maybe 12 months.
Yeah. It's the first hot one. It's so for you guys. I mean, it's not super hot. I think here it got to 33 or 32 degrees
Yeah, it got to 35.
Celsius,
It's muggy,
which is about and it's humid. So that's about 90. Right, so it's not crazy hot. So it's about 90 Fahrenheit.
It's hot enough for me to wear no underpants around my house, but not that I tell anybody or admit it.
Why does the weather have anything to do with that? That is just par for the course.
Oh, that's true.
I never wear underwear when I'm streaming.
Oh, Claz was saying
Truth
how
is
hot it
truth,
is in Perth. I bet if you wear rubber thongs in Perth, your thongs stick to the footpath.
Thongs. So for all
Someone's
the US
asked,
people,
where's
thongs in
Richard?
Australia are flip flops. They're what do they call them in the US?
Sandals. I know in New Zealand they call them jandals or
Jandals,
something.
flip-flops.
Flip-flops. Where's Richard? We don't know where he is because he doesn't answer messages or read newspapers or answer anybody. So sorry about that. So do you reckon that that big dumperoonie? I mean, we've been having a dumperoonie for about a week, but do you reckon that we might have hit the bottom today with all this news and talk of the SEC?
I have to be honest, I have not paid attention for about a week. I've been
busy.
I've been pretty busy this week, in the last week. It's
Yeah.
like school's winding up, so there's a lot of stuff going on with the kids and you know, a lot of activities left, right, and center, and then there's also the end of year all the concerts and stuff that's that inevitably take place.
Yeah.
So we've just been spending time doing that, and then one of our kids is been sick the last few days, so that's like I threw a few things out of. I've had to sort of shuffle a few things around.
Yeah.
How about your kids? They finish up pretty soon?
They've finished, but I think Christmas, the 2 weeks before Christmas is always full on, work, school, home life. But yeah, my big girl's finished school for good. She's graduated year 12 and just waiting to hear she's got into her course. But she's been getting a bit bored. I mean, she works, but she gets a bit bored when she's not working. My little one's finished school for the year. She's in year 8, but she's got excursions, the fun fields and, the fun stuff at the end of the year. She's got that stuff on at the moment.
Okay.
So, yeah, but always busy here.
Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, so because of all that stuff, I haven't been paying attention. So maybe you can fill me in. You seem pretty dialed in with what's been going on. Apparently, I mean, I look at the price and it's still like, I mean, okay, but it's maybe it's a little bit down over where it was a month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sort of where we were 2 months ago. Almost, or 2.5 to 3 months ago. So we're sort of just crab walking along. We haven't made a lower low.
Haven't we? I really haven't noticed, but I tend to not look at the prices when they look like shit. I just have to
let me bring it
focus
up.
on something else.
I'll bring it up here. Let's see if I can go last. No, this is all of it. Can I zoom in on this? No, I can't. So here, this looks like sort of the low that we had in late August, or about there, around the 20th of August. Yeah, that was about the low that we had.
Did we last August?
In August, yeah. So I think we hit about like 6 of a cent in HEX on PulseChain.
Hey DJ Creditas, you're looking good, man. I saw you on Twitter. Those muscles, ooh, very nice.
So what news has been happening? You guys probably come here going like, okay, now we're gonna find out some stuff. No. You have to tell me what's going on.
All right. Well, I haven't been really looking. Like, yeah, the big thing today was the Richard Hart being served, people going back and forth, saying what's happening with that. And the thing is, we don't know. We just don't know. Oh, let me tell everybody, I watched the Highest of Stakes movie, and I really liked it.
Yep, I loved it.
Did ya?
Yeah, I loved it.
I spoke to some dudes in the US who told me about it, and they said, oh, this and that. And so I really wasn't looking forward to watching it. But I went in there going to make my own opinion out of it, through it with my own eyes. And I enjoyed it. I'd watch it again. And I think maybe because we know people and we know Richard, and I know it makes it more fun. But yeah, I enjoyed it.
I had a very good discussion. I watched it with someone who's not invested in HEX and wouldn't invest in crypto. Like, he's not a crypto person. So this person thought it wasn't good it wasn't good. It wasn't like that was his perspective, that it's like not good. But I sort of pulled that apart afterwards, and I asked him, but were you ever going to change your mind by watching this? Like, you seem pretty fast in your opinion when it comes to crypto and how it's not worth anything. So was this ever going to actually change your mind? And I don't think anything would change this person's mind. So I take his perspective with a grain of salt. Like, it's not. I found it extremely entertaining. I think anyone who watches it, who has just a bit of an attention span, will find it entertaining and interesting. And anyone who's already half, like, making their way into crypto or halfways into crypto, I think it's just going to make them curious to find out more.
Yeah.
And that's all you can ask. And that's all you can ask for. It's certainly not going to do.
ICP.
Like, I don't think anyone who's invested now will watch that and say, hey, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I don't want to have anything to do with HEX anymore because now I've seen this thing. So I don't think it's going to do any damage. I think it's just going to be one of those things you can get people to watch, and it will be a conversation. It will start it will start a conversation.
I think it represents the reality of crypto, and I think everyone watching this stream can relate to not always winning in crypto and being that person that says could have, should have, would have. That situation, which, I don't want to spoil it for everyone, but it shows the reality of, going into crypto thinking that you're going to make money because you've heard everyone else making all this money. But reality is that you don't think that you could lose it all as well. And I think it paints a very good picture of what crypto is all about and what you don't see in crypto. You see the winners, but how often do you see the losers? And how many people are just embarrassed to talk about that stuff too? But yeah, I heard
they painted that picture quite well with they had the family, and they had the husband, the wife, and the kids, and the husband was like RG3's and this is all like in the you see this in the trailer pretty much, like in everything that's out there. This is what's in it. So I'm not spoiling anything right now.
No, you're not spoiling anything, but I heard on the grapevine that particular person in the movie.
Hang on. Before you say that, guys, spoiler for the next 1 minute. Okay, so you might have to turn down your volume for the next minute. We don't want to ruin anything for you, just in case. The next minute, turn down your volume. Go, Sammy.
Yeah, I heard on the grapevine that that certain person that didn't do so well is actually pretty well looked after through being in the movie. So, I mean, I'm not going to go into details and say how I found out, but yeah, I heard that he's probably going to be a lot better off being in the movie than doing what he was
Right.
doing.
Yep. Oh yeah, that makes
So,
sense. Well, I mean,
yeah.
you would expect someone
Hi,
who's
Frank.
you'd expect someone who's in a movie to make something out of it, right? You would
Yeah,
expect that. That's
exactly.
sort of like just seems like I hadn't really thought about it until now, but yeah, that just seems like it seems like what would happen. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you're in a
exactly.
movie, you'd get paid to be in the movie, unless of course, yeah, because the husband, wife, kids are in the movie. Look, I loved it. I loved it. I think RG3 committed. I think the whole crew they did a great job.
You're very quiet, 43. What are you doing?
Am I quiet? Am I?
Your mic went quiet.
I might have moved away. Let me get closer. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Yeah, I loved it. I really enjoyed this documentary. I would recommend it to anyone. I'm actually organising a couple of friends to come over and watch it. Probably. Is my mic muffled? Is it?
Not anymore. It's not, but it was.
So yeah, I'm organising a couple of friends to come around and watch it. So I'm looking forward to hearing what they think about it.
Awesome.
I really am, because it's a conversation starter.
And I think that there should be a sequel, right? I think there should be a sequel, but I think really they should take the opportunity to make, take opportunity to look at what happens in that story. What's the outcome? They talk about PulseChain launch. We've been down crab walking for 6 months. I want something really good to happen so they can make a sequel and show the world that we're in something really good.
Yeah, because that first one was very much no, it was a balanced yeah, it was a very balanced sort of arguing sort of both sides of the fence. I think that's why it was so good. Like, for me, that's why it was so good.
Someone says a sequel showing what HEX has done to Silvertooth. Hey, Silvertooth is a whinger, okay? Silvertooth is just another crypto whinger, and he just blames HEX. You can be down on any coin. He just likes buying tops and selling bottoms. That's not anyone else's fault.
Who's Silvertooth?
He's this dude. He's been on the internet for ages. He was around when I first got into crypto back in 2017. And he's just this dude that just talks about crypto, does live streaming, became a Hexagon. But he's got a massive gambling problem too. You'll see him always posting stuff when he goes to Vegas on the slots and stuff.
Can I just say, if you are in crypto since 2017 and you have not made any money, you're doing it wrong.
Good point.
It's time to reconsider your investment thesis.
Exactly.
Because
speaking of money, shit, how's Bitcoin, man? Going what? It's going like hella blue, since that BlackRock announcement, it just shot up there, and those alts were going with it as well. And I must say, I did make a couple of good investments on the way, and I'm pretty happy about that. And what I can say, right, is that the last bull run in HEX, I was heavily invested, but I look back and think, man, I should have diversified across the board. And I had a little bit, but it was not as much as I'd like to. But this time I'm going in and I'm diverse. You should listen to your friend Sammy, because he's very smart and intelligent. He's a bit of a cutie. And he's always telling you what to buy. Again, he's not financial advice, but he gets into all, the good stuff like Chainlink. And I made some decent money on Chainlink back in the day. But you know, he knows what's going on, and I just think, as much as you like Hex and PulseChain, it's good to diversify, because when the bull run comes around, you don't want to be sitting there going, you know, if they're all connected, you know, at least you got some action going on the Ethereum side. And then you got action on the PulseChain side. You don't want to miss out on all the other good stuff too.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to your friend Somi, who's got a YouTube channel and is obsessed with scrumptious pumpkin. What are they? Muffins or whatever he's talking about.
And fluffy slippers.
And fluffy slippers.
Oh, he's funny.
Shout out to Somi, hey.
Somi,
Who
good
did
to
a
see.
big face reveal last week? 'Cause
Yeah.
all of his content before that was just you know, showing charts and you know, tweets.
And he's and I mean,
Tell
look,
us,
we've all
Sammy,
seen him.
Sammy, what did you think of Somi?
I
What do you
thought he
think of
was
seeing Somi?
a gorgeous young man, and I told him so. I posted him out. I thought, oh, who's this sexy mofo? Oh, it's Somi. Yes, you know, and what I like about guys, I like when they're smart. I like when they're especially funny and witty, and good looking always helps. You know, he's got it going for him.
There you go, Somi. There's a vote from Sammy. Yeah, it's I think the boy hits the gym, yeah. I think he definitely hits the gym. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I started a diet because
Did ya?
yeah. So I've had like a little bit of that. So I'm in my 40s, yeah. So
Yeah,
I
bro.
had a little bit
I
of
like I know.
that 40s spread in the last couple of years, and I'm
COVID
doing
blubber.
I'm doing something about it. I'm doing something about it.
Oh
'cause,
yeah, you COVID blubber, you lockdown
no,
blubber.
because my wife lost 10 kilos doing this diet. And
Nice. What is it?
it's so we have an appointment with this dietitian
Yeah.
once a month, and they give you like a plan of everything you're supposed to eat, like everything, every meal, you don't put anything in your body. Don't put anything in your body that's not on this piece of paper.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, my friend saw a dietitian, and now she looks like fully anorexic. Like, it's amazing. Like, I'm a little bit scared to actually go see the dietitian because she's that skinny. But I've been on a diet since August. I've lost about between 20 and 21 kilo.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I don't show it. To me, I've managed to hide my weight really well.
That's amazing, Sammy. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
thanks. But I mean, I gained a lot of weight over COVID lockdowns, and I didn't even think I was that fat, right? I mean, I went to the doctors. I nearly fell off the scale when I looked at it, and since then, yeah, I lost nearly 20 kilos. I've been down 20 kilos, but I want to lose another 20 before August of next year.
Just
So
slow and steady wins the race, Sammy.
that's it. And I'm calorie counting, and I actually enjoy calorie counting. Thanks, guys.
Nice. So what I've got at the moment is I have to weigh my breakfast cereal. And then for lunch, I've got everything's just weighed. It's like you can have this many grams of this and this many grams of this and this many grams of that.
Yeah.
And a piece of fruit. Like that's like lunch. And then so everything's weighed. Everything's just weighed out.
Yeah.
And it's good. I'm a fan of this thing. I should have started when my wife did 6 months ago.
Thanks, Spider. Hey, Tangent, what's up?
Yo,
Up
hey
Tangent.
Sammy, 43, what's going on?
Why have you got a jumper on in Perth? Man, we're sweating our balls off over here in Melbourne.
It's coldish. Did I just hear you say you're eating cereal as part of a crafted diet?
Yes.
You need to fire that dietitian immediately.
Bro, my wife lost 10 kilos in 4 months.
Yeah, but
It is a rounded It's like a very
weight doesn't equal health though. Like as in,
I agree.
You know
But
what I mean? Like
she's lost fat. She's lost fat. Like it's she's fitting into jeans from before she had her first kid. She's had 3 kids.
The ultimate breakfast, according to Charles Poliquin, is actually a red meat and nuts.
That's a lot of calories and nuts.
Two high protein, two high protein things. And apparently it's supposed to like set up your neural chemistry for drive and focus for the entire day. There's all these articles, like research articles and shit about it. It's not just like some crazy idea.
But nuts are delicious, but high in calories as well, like avocados too.
Yeah, but if you compare that with something like sugar, that's cereal that's just packed with sugar, it's like sugar and carbs.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think what I'm eating is I'm eating something called
I guess
Guardian.
I guess it depends what you're calling cereal. If you're eating like a muesli or something like that, that's got.
I'm eating like a high fiber, like all brand type.
No, it's still trash.
If I was going to eat cereal,
anything in a box, like any.
What about rolled oats?
Anything by Kellogg's, yeah. So if you're doing like a muesli that you've made out of different.
So you don't think a high fiber is good, since you're not like absorbing you're passing the fiber?
I think all of that shit is marketing hype. So they'll write high fiber on the box, but you've got to look at what's actually in that product. And anything by Kellogg's is fucking trash, man. Right.
Look. Dude,
I agree.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think ideally I wouldn't eat that stuff, but I need to, at my age, I just need to get to a certain weight, because there are some risk factors at my age which are really bad, like your waist and
cholesterol.
Yeah, so all these things, I just need to get them under control in the next 6 months to a year. Once I've got them under control, then I can go and tweak things. But yeah, dude, like I said, my wife's wearing jeans that she hasn't worn since before her first kid.
Jeez, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I get like, if your priority is weight loss and the shit
fat
works
loss.
for you,
fat loss.
Or fat loss.
Yeah.
And I guess like there's someone said once that all of that shit effectively just comes down to like calorie deficit.
Exactly.
All diets fundamentally just come down to a basis of calorie.
That's what I'm doing, Tangent.
Yeah,
calorie deficit, and I've lost 20 kilo.
But what I'm finding interesting about this diet that I'm doing is like, I'll give you an example. For lunch, I'll have like quinoa with some tomatoes and chickpeas, and
that sounds fun.
So that's the lunch, and then for dinner might be like a piece of like a steak and a couple of different veggies. So there's not a whole lot of carbs in the like processed carbs in the diet. There's not a whole lot of it.
Look at IB19's comment. What's funny?
What's interesting about it is that I don't feel hungry at all on this diet, and I know I'm at a calorie deficit. Like, I never feel hungry, and almost every other diet I've been on that I've tried, like I've done everything, dude. I've done everything, and almost everything. There's always like a time when I feel like a bit hungry. On this diet, I'm not feeling hungry at all. Like, when I start to feel hungry, it's time to eat. It's like lunchtime, or when I start to feel hungry, it's like dinner time.
Interesting.
It's sort of like because I sat down and had a 1 hour discussion with this dietitian, and she sort of like asked me a ton of questions and worked out exactly what is suited to me. But look, this is boring as fuck for people listening right now. No one gives a fuck about my diet. So let's talk about some other shit, like that tweet that I read about Bitcoin having this crisis at the moment, and I want to hear your perspective on that. Did tweet.
Someone message in our little organization?
Did you read it? What did you think of that?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't have time, but I did see a message pop up that said there's some kind of civil unrest inside the Bitcoin community or something.
Let me find it. Let me find it. And
was it Jexa or Dozer that messaged that?
No, it was me. It was there's the person who's tweeted this, there's a new Bitcoin civil war brewing over ordinals and privacy. We may even see another fork. I'm going to break down as concisely as possible how we got here, why we got here, and how we can avoid this sort of thing moving forward. And there's like 16 tweets. So I'm not going to sit here and read them all, but it's
weird.
and so I'll just let me see if I can find like any of the tweets that were.
You know, I was about to say, like, there's always disagreement in the vision and the direction. Not everyone always agrees, but if you're saying that it's actually realistically could result in a fork, then that is a more like that's a better like a better definition of there actually being a significant enough disagreement among people who actually fucking matter.
So it was in relation to ordinals was just submitted to the NIST database, the National Vulnerability Database, as CVE.
I don't even know what that is. NIST.
The National, what is it? The National Information Technology. No, what is it? National something. National Institute for something. NIST. I used to know that.
Is that good or bad? If it's been,
I think it's bad for it goes against the ordinals thing. So usually the vulnerability data, it's saying that it's listing it as the ordinals thing is being listed as a vulnerability for Bitcoin.
Oh, weird.
So, and there are people trying to censor the ordinals.
I mean, I remember Luke Dash Jr. saying that he believes he counts it, in his opinion, as a bug.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go as far as to say that it's a vulnerability.
Well, it's been listed.
Some of them believe it's like that it's a misuse of but it's subjective, right? Like I'm of the opinion that if you're paying for block space, then there is no there. If you're following the network rules and you're paying for the block space, then because value judgment, this comes back to the whole, Bitcoin's a waste of electricity. It's like waste of electricity to who, right? Like to people who don't value Bitcoin. So as soon as we apply subjective value judgments onto anything related to this technology, it's a problem, in my opinion. So this tweeter, his name is Joel Valenzuela, and he said there's two likely outcomes. One, ordinals win, and no one, even the rich, can use Bitcoin for digital cash again. The network is sustainable, but turns into a data inscription network. And two, ordinals lose, the revenue problem returns. Privacy is collateral damage. No, dude, this dude's being a drama queen.
And then under that,
there's layer twos.
No, but under that, he mentions. I don't know if you've been following the Samurai Wallet thing.
I know what happened there. Luke Dash Jr. explained it at the Unconfiscatable conference. It was just a misunderstanding. So they've got a limit to how many bytes can be included in the op return or something. It's like a 46 or 62 byte limit on the op return. And then their shit was like 64 bytes. So their shit, Samurai shit, was non-standard. And then they started claiming it was censorship. It was a misunderstanding. They were not, no one was intending to censor their shit. It was just, it didn't fit within the rule set that was being applied in a non-malicious way. So I think, the first time ordinals came out, and there's been a range of other historical examples in Bitcoin, people start making a bigger deal out of things than they actually are. People like this get things wrong and miscommunicate and misrepresent what's going on. People are quick to jump to conclusions. I wouldn't panic about any of this shit. I think this dude's being a drama queen. Like He's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's going to be this or this. It's like, no, there's
No, he
heaps
just
of
said
other
it's,
shit
there's
how
two
this could-
likely outcomes. So he said they're the two most likely outcomes. So I don't think he said.
Well, I
these
don't
are
think
the
either
only
of them are
outcomes.
likely at all. One of
No?
dude, he said one of his likely outcomes is that the entire Bitcoin blockchain just becomes a support network for inscriptions. That's fucking bonkers to have that as a likely outcome. Like
Yeah, fair
that's
call.
definitely
Fair call.
not happening. Like with near certainty, that is not happening.
So, but and what he's saying is that would be at the expense of privacy on Bitcoin.
I think he was saying the other one is the one that is the expense of privacy, right? Didn't you say it's the or whatever? You said one of them. I think
yes.
the bigger risk to privacy is actually these rare sats. So rare satoshis is a privacy attack, whether people realize it or not, because it's starting to undermine the fungibility of Bitcoin. It's saying this UTXO is different because it's got a Satoshi in it that has this particular history or whatever. And we don't want that. We want Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to be seen as being fungible. And this rare sats idea fucks with that a bit, just by definition, because you're starting to assign different values and different meaning to different Satoshis.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't say that inscriptions are necessarily a privacy issue. Just I mean, I guess a similar less potent argument could probably be applied to inscriptions as well, because you are sort of
And in the US, there was a Senator Elizabeth Warren, who's going after the Native American Indian. Elizabeth Warren is has I think she's put forward some legislation that, from my understanding, she has never been able to push anything through. So I'm not sure how likely it is that anything she puts forward gets through.
That gives me hope, 43, because she's been on my mind all day. And I just keep thinking of what a negative Nancy she is. And she's just another bully in the space that's trying to stop our fun. She's a fun stopper, party pooper.
Oh yeah.
And I hope
Hey,
we can get
you
fun
can't.
place.
But in her, the thing is, Sammy, regardless of what they come up with when it comes to this sort of stuff, I think in there they want self-hosted wallets to be illegal, basically. Essentially. But that's impossible. It's like saying you guys aren't allowed to do maths at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
I know.
right.
Exactly
We're not allowed to do maths. We're not allowed to do maths at home. Okay. All right.
Dude,
see how far you get with that one.
You know, Mario had a Twitter space that had Elon Musk, Patrick Bet-David, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, Alex Jones, the Vivek presidential candidate, and several other people that are of noteworthy popularity. And one of his recent tweets is actually aimed at Elizabeth Warren. So we're talking tens of million, between 10 and 20 million people have already viewed this particular Twitter space. And if any of them, if even a small percentage of them are like, oh, I wonder who this guy is that's hosting, I've never heard of this dude, and scrolls through his profile, they will see this fucking meme of Elizabeth Warren that's basically it's got net worth $67 million, salary $285K, monthly income $400,000, and the caption is, how does a $285K salary get you $67 million net worth? So this should be seen by an absolute metric fuck ton of people, which is really good to highlight how corrupt the system is, and how particularly abusive of that corrupt system that this individual must have been to benefit herself to that level.
And the hypocrisy of someone, you know, conducting themselves in this way, and then,
Yeah.
you know, with the other, like on the other hand, turning around and saying, no, the fraud is happening, you know, in this new crypto space.
Well, she's got 67 million reasons to think like that and speak like that. So,
Exactly.
Yep. So we'll see. We'll find out. But I don't think it's that easy just to pass wide sweeping laws like this. I mean, I don't think it's that easy. I could be wrong.
Good.
I could be wrong.
Well, I hope you're right. You know, she's just another bully. I mean, look, if the point she's trying to make about what money launderers and kid smugglers and drug smugglers, whatever, you know, these people are using crypto to move money around illegally. If they didn't use crypto, they're going to find another way. So, and it's been happening with, you know, cash for the last, you know, 20, 50 years. They will find a way because they're criminals. And isn't it funny how the working class people like ourselves, excluding some, who invest in crypto and are completely innocent, don't do anything like that, don't get a mention? You know, like we're just put into a corner and told to shut up. Like, you know.
And you don't need to ask for crypto. You can, I mean, if people want to do something, you can just ask for resources. There's plenty of, you can ask for diamonds, you can ask for gold, you can ask for whatever.
I think the more important news story is actually that presidential candidate Vivek went and took a piss with a hot mic with like literally 10 million people listening. Well, actually, I think it's probably sub-mil in terms of people listening live. But
are you serious?
What did it sound like?
I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
What do you think it sounded like?
Flo actually sounded a little bit weak, but I don't know what type of toilet he has. And so...
Did you hear the zip come down? Did he flop
No, you
out
actually,
his wiener?
you know what? If Mario hadn't fucking said anything, people probably wouldn't have even noticed, because I was listening and I like, so you can hear the sound of it, but I didn't even think, oh, what the fuck? Someone's got a hot mic going to the toilet. I didn't notice until Mario's like, whoa, you've got a hot mic, bro. Vivek's pissing with a hot mic, like, and just
Why don't they mute him?
He said he couldn't mute him, which is weird because if it's normally only the
that's pretty
co-hosts.
funny, dude. That's hilarious.
Maybe Mario just didn't have his phone in arm's reach. Maybe he was doing some shit.
Imagine if he farted.
And so couldn't actually get to the mute button.
At the end, just like let one out. There's an obligatory fart at the end of taking a piss.
Fortunately, he did not do that. Fortunately for everyone involved, especially him.
What do you mean? Fortunately, we can't smell it, dude.
Hang on, sorry, we'll be right back.
Dude, I don't want to hear it either, though. Like, but
no, dude, that's funny. It's hilarious, and I think that it does it hurt him? No one cares, because anyone in a Twitter Spaces does not give a shit. By the way,
yeah.
I think I was listening to, was it RG3 on a live stream once, took a piss. Same thing. Someone in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, whether that is a real memory that I
don't remember. I don't specifically remember that, but he went on some talkback show where the guy asked him. I don't know if this was scripted, but the guy asked him. He was like, "You were on a Twitter space with Elon Musk, and there's a rumor that you pissed with a hot mic." And he just like sat there in silence for a little bit, and then said, "We're all human," which is like, if you're going to spin that shit to your favor, like, and sound, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. It's a pretty good way to spin it if you want to sort of like be more relatable and sort of.
Yes, it was RG3. Yes. So Bob Lagai knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. So RGS, yeah, they know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it was the first time that he switched to a Bluetooth headset.
Oh, so he wasn't used to the way that it stays on, sort of thing.
He didn't mute it or something. Yeah, I've taken with my Bluetooth headset, I've taken multiple. I learned a valuable lesson. RG3 has taught me a lot, and one of those things was to always check whether the mic is muted before taking a piss with the Bluetooth headset.
Close is funny.
Could you just leave the headset in a different room or something? Just so
No, but you don't want to miss the conversation, dude.
Oh,
you want to
you're
you want to
still
continue.
listening to that.
And the beauty of having a Bluetooth headset is you can continue listening while taking a piss. But yeah.
Oh well, it's about risk reward then, isn't it?
Yeah, there are way worse things that can happen. Way worse. It's in the moment, it must be like a bit, what the hell. But when you're just hearing someone talk about it, I think it's funny. It's funny as fuck.
Oh yeah, I'm noticing some more loans have been liquidated.
Oh, you're talking about liquid loans?
Hi, par excellence. How you doing?
Oh,
what's
going on?
up? Who's being liquidated?
What's up,
Not
Dozza?
me. What's going on with the Tang Gang? What are they doing? What cool stuff are they up to?
You know what? I was going to give you guys like a summary, and then even my TLDR was so long that I was like, holy shit, I would take up the whole stream just telling you guys what we've been up to.
Yeah.
But Mana's got a release of PulseCat, like a second stage of her PulseCats, which is those 3D VR AR drawn Pulse cats that have got like, each cat's got a different logo in the background, like HEX and Pulse X and shit like that. And that's coming out, I think, for Australia. For Australia, it's either going to be Wednesday or Thursday morning, because it's going to be, So, but I think the way to keep up to date with what's going on in the Tang Gang is either to go into the Telegram or to go to the website hexoacoin.com. That's got all the shit that's upcoming. I'm actually working on something at the moment. I'm not supposed to tell anyone. So fuck it. Like, I won't say who it's with, but theoretically, if I get this negotiation to work, it's going to be free, unlimited bandwidth, fully private, no logs VPN for the Tang Gang.
Cool.
So that's going to be pretty fucking epic. And I'm actually trying to get it. I'm trying to get it that it might be for everyone on PulseChain, not just the Tang Gang. But
awesome.
at a minimum, it'll be the Tang Gang.
Cool.
Which would be pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's groovy, baby.
What's a go-to VPN at the moment?
What do you mean?
Have you got any go-to VPNs for the people listening at the moment?
So if you go to is it privacytools.io or like, because obviously everyone's situation is a little bit different and where you live and that sort of thing, but there are good resources that give you like a summary of. So I think the Mulvad or whatever,
Mulvad VPN, that's the one I was going to say,
is quite good. Proton has got a good option. There's at least one more that's considered good. But if you let me just check. Is it Privacy Tools? I can't say who this VPN provider is because they've asked me not to tell anyone until we fucking pin the shit down. So it's still privacytools.io is like it's got heaps of cool shit on this website. And I'm pretty sure VPN comparisons is on here somewhere. Fucking hell, this website's even expanded quite a bit. So yeah, I think the most important thing. There's this crazy shit that's happening right now. This collab that's occurring between the Pussycat Farms and that PulseChain 3D Monopoly game.
No.
Do you guys know about that?
No.
Well, you're about to hear about it because the Tang Gang's taking it under its wing to fucking blow it the fuck up in terms of awareness. Anyway, so
I love Monopoly.
these Unity devs like created this game this Monopoly game, but it's 3D and it's obviously digital, and you can play it against humans. Like you could choose to play it against. So I could play a game against you. Like the three of us could have a game of Monopoly, like over the net right now.
Sweet. I'm back.
And pay in Pulse, like as in, so we effectively could start the game, and whoever wins, like our bankroll in the game would actually be PulseChain tokens, like PLS.
Oh, right.
And so whoever wins actually wins the PLS. Or you can play against AIs if you want to just like play yourself with not against anyone, or you can play against humans and not bet real money. Do like fake.
I'll be the shoe.
A fake money.
Or the dog.
If you want a specific playing character, then you have to hold a certain number of tokens or buy them or some shit. But anyway, there's going to be this collab that's developing right now between the Pussycat Farms and that project, because they've actually got their own yield farms as well, and so that's actually quite exciting. That's in progress. There's always heaps and heaps of shit. Fully Croissant updated the metaverse, the Orange Grove metaverse, the Tang Gang metaverse. So that's like got a completely different look to it. It's like all futuristic and shit. That's pretty cool. And then yeah, there's just like now we've got 4 events a week. We've got Free Mint Friday, Sucker Free Saturday, Tang Tuesday, and like NFT Mint Monday or some shit. So we've got like 4 events every week. It's getting crazier and crazier by the day. I can't even keep up, and I'm in that Telegram like all the time.
That's cool. I know you guys are busy and doing really cool stuff.
Yeah. Did I tell you about how the Free Mint Friday that just passed was, so Crypto Class had an NFT collection.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool.
And so it was an all hexagon lineup. I think Kinetics might have been involved in one of them. I'm not sure. So I think Kinetics might have been involved in one of the collections that went launched. Or that might be an upcoming one, or it might be. There's just so much going on. It's hard to keep track of exactly what's going on, and particularly if people don't like with classes. It had collection name by Crypto Class, so you know it was her. But some people don't put their name necessarily on the collection or whatever, so it's just hard to keep track of what's going on. And yeah, so it's never a dull moment in the Tang Gang. It's absolutely fucking hectic.
That's awesome.
Oh, nice, mate. Very nice. What do you think of the price section on? I was going to say,
what
do
you
you
get
think of the
excited
price?
about 43 is, you know how you like having your own hardware and shit, so that you're not relying on like cloud and sensorable computing. The Tang Gangs has created a collab with the people that create the Evergreen miners, which are basically Chia nodes, which is basically just hard drives. And so they're going to make one where the box color, like the shell, is orange, and it's going to be a Chia node, but you can also store data on this thing called data layer. And so we'll effectively be able to have like a better version of IPFS that's actually uncensorable, that'll be hosted by multiple Tang Gang community members. And then we'll have shit like the HEX website and people's NFT collections, like the images and shit like that. So we're going to be able to, using the hard drives in those Chia nodes, we're actually going to be able to create actual uncensorable hosting in terms of data hosting for the Tang Gang and for PulseChain. So that's going to be fucking dope.
How big do those hard drives need to be for those nodes?
Oh, so with Chia, that you want just the more hard drive space, the better, right? It's like the more you have, the more you can mine. So you can use the hard drives either for mining Chia or farming Chia, or you can actually do this data layer thing. You can't do both, right? But the way the hard drives get plotted, there's usually a bit of space at the end of the hard drive that can't be plotted. So you can just use those gaps for data layer, or you can just make the whole thing data layer. If you're not interested in farming Chia and you're like, no, I just want this self-sovereign hosting shit, then you can just basically do that. So it's up to every individual. By the way, you don't have to strictly be in the Tang Gang to get this discounted product. You can just, as long as you don't mind the shell being orange and it probably is going to say Tang Gang on it, then basically anyone will be able to just go to the online shop and buy this product. Once they release it, there'll be some kind of like,
that's cool. What's the hardware?
On the website.
What's the hardware in the
I
box?
think it might be a 20 terabyte hard drive. So,
Oh, right.
and then it's basically
So
a
just
Raspberry, and it's the computing
just a
side of it is
SATA
basically a Raspberry
SSD.
Pi 4.
Just a SATA SSD.
No. For 20 terabytes, it wouldn't be an SSD. It'd be I'm pretty sure it'd be like a magnetic disk.
Like a disk.
Yeah. Do they make SSDs up to 20 terabytes?
Fucking probably.
I think that would just be too expensive.
You can buy like
remember that none of this shit is fast access.
The NVMe ones would be fucking expensive, and I think you can get them up to 8 terabyte. But like the SATA ones, I think would go big. Actually, let me just check this out. Any tech guys out there who would know the answer to this?
So I'm pretty sure it's not an SSD. Like I think, and because remember, none of this stuff has to be fast access, and it's not like constant read write shit going on. It's for either the farming and data layer. It's like it's more long-term storage shit. So yeah, that's pretty exciting in terms because I think people are learning from this whole like shit show with all the sites being taken down and being all IPFS now.
Yeah.
People are starting to learn that IPFS is not quite as awesome as some people previously believed. And so the Tang Gang as a community will effectively be filling that gap to bring it to what people actually thought it would be.
So I've got an idea. Okay, tell me what you guys think. I'm not a coder, so I can't pull this off myself.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was a coder who could, this is what I would do. I would go and grab all of those, all the code for all of the executables, and I would make one program that you could execute each of those, like the PulseX, the Explorer, HEX, front end. Like I would make one application that just had everything in it and make a GUI for it, and just basically just make it look nice and user friendly, so that there was like just one program that someone could download and run, and everything was there for them, like so that a normie could just use it.
That would be awesome, except I think you'd really struggle to get people to use it because they'd fear that you've also built something into the executable.
Yeah, so it would need to probably be like, it would have to be like open source. It would have to be on GitHub so that people could go and audit it and check it out.
Yeah, you could make it open source, but it means that people need to check every time. Like every time you update it, people would have to check to make sure that, like whoever's making it, it'd be a trust issue. Like every time.
That's like everything though, isn't it? That's like any program that there's an update with. You just trust every time they update.
Yes. However, this is no longer coming from the source. Like, as in, typically, you're trusting that the entity that you're getting it from is not going to F you over. Whereas this is effectively now you've got a potential man in the middle attack that's taking the software, repackaging it. It's no longer the person who created the original.
So maybe
I love the idea, and it would be dope.
I think that if we're talking about usability, then maybe the people who put out the originals can do it.
Yes, That would be dope. That would be dope.
To me, it doesn't matter who does it.
If the actual dev team or Richard or someone actually did that,
it just makes sense. Like to have a GUI, just have a graphical user interface, so that
it wouldn't be hard at all.
No,
dude, it would be so easy.
Exactly, and it would make it just, you make it look nice. You give it a little icon, so when people double click on it, it looks right. Do you know what I mean? It just, like, you look at it now, it's got like that generic icon that most people look at that and they think it looks dodgy. Do you know what I mean? Like just stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be so easy, dude. Like that
Like a
would
proper
be
installation. Like, do you know what I mean? Like a proper installation that when you install it, it like comes up with the installation process. Like, you know, maybe that would look.
yeah.
Because I actually think that that's the best option. Like, why are we like, you know, we're addicted to having something like hosted elsewhere. Like, why not just run everything locally? It just, you know, we just seem to be addicted to the idea of it needs to be elsewhere, not, you know, it needs to be hosted elsewhere.
I have to admit, I've actually been using the Tang Gang versions of the site, even though I know like it's not as
Nothing wrong with
cypherpunk
that,
as
man.
it's because I moved between so many different computers. It's like
There's nothing wrong with that, dude. If you know it's good and you have
yeah. I trust the. But by the way, you can check, like you can go and check the DNS records to make sure that Bullish has put the correct IPFS hash. So it is checkable to make sure that it's not.
What is it? Can we bring it up? Let's have a look. What's the Tang Gang one?
The websites. So
The Tang Gang.
it's just like what you would expect. .hex
It's called
oacoin.com.
what?
So no. Like PulseX bridge hex like scan . So like scan, bridge, hex, PulseX are the subdomains, like the
And what's the regular domain?
pre-domain, and then hex oacoin.com.
I'm just going to bring this up so we can do this live and have a look at it. Where are we? Share this tab.
And by the way, Bullish
Okay.
has been helping a bunch of people set this up. So you can get to the same shit by doing scan.investex.io, scan.9mil.pro is actually their own explorer. But other people are actually setting up these same websites, which will be like scan.their domain, and then it'll be the IPFS thingo.
Yep.
So that's the scanner. And if you replace the word scan with hex, I believe that'll be the hex website. Oh wait, no. That one I got wrong.
Go.
I'm sure PulseX is correct. Yep, PulseX scan
bridge.
PulseX, try bridge. Yep. All right. So I need.
Is that just running? So you just put that into Google and you can find that?
No. You just type out the whole domain. So it's or the easier way to remember this is you go to hexoacoin.com, and then in the menu system, if you go to more, it's got links to all of these things, which is how. This is how I'm going to work out what the one I fucked up when I said. So hex staking is. stakehex.hexoacoin.com.
Can you tweet out the link, Tangent?
To which one? I actually
all
did
of them.
on the day he first set them up. I tweeted out every single one of these links.
So they're still valid.
But I can do them again.
I think no, I've still got that tweet on my Twitter. I'm just gonna check.
The only one
I kept it.
The only one that he might not have set up at that time might have been the scanner. I think may, but I can just
stakehex.hexoacoin. Yeah, there it's still working. I thought you said they took them down, Tangent.
No. Richard took down the main sites got taken down, like go.hex.com and stuff. Yeah. No.
I love
the Tang Gang ones have been up the entire time.
Have they? I love that the Tang Gang did this. I think it's really cool.
It's really good.
RH Max also has done a site, and it's pretty cool because it's called GoRealDeFi.com. And so that's just another option. What I like about this is that if you go to it, I'm not sure if you can see, you'll click on one of them.
go.realdefi.com, or is it just go without the dot?
It's GoRealDefi.com.
All in one word, okay. And
Yeah,
.com.
Oh, yeah, that one too.
So the reason I like that, and I'm not sure you can see what I'm looking at now. No, you can't. How about now? Can you see that? Yes. So that's the HEX staking site, for example. But if you double right click on it and inspect, I don't think you guys can see this part of it, but I'm inspecting the and you can actually see the IPFS the link, the extension that is on the HEX, the go.hex.com website. So you can actually see that it's redirect, like it's the same IPFS hash.
Where's it showing that?
You need, I can't, for some reason it's not showing. I can't. It's in the, if you right click on it on the space on the website and go to inspect source.
Oh, and then you'd be able to. So are you able to just do that on any site? Like, couldn't you just do that on the Tang Gang one as well?
You can probably do it on the Tang Gang one. Yep.
I just noticed, Sammy, you also tweeted out the backup.
Yeah.
So when I did my tweet, so that was November 25th, and I put the DEX, the bridge, and HEX staking. So yeah, so he had obviously not put the scanner up at that time. Wow, that got 251 likes and 13,000 views. Holy shit.
Nice.
Holy
Well, I had a
shit,
dude message me this morning about links, and I wasn't sure if the Tang Gang was working, but I gave him some other links, but yeah, I just forwarded that tweet to him now because that's really handy.
Holy shit. I cannot believe that got 13,000 views. That's crazy.
I can. The Tang Gang's making DeFi real again.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I didn't mean in terms of it not being awesome. I just meant in terms of the reach that it got. Like,
yeah, it's great. I think it's a requirement for the community, and like I saved it because it's something you go to. It's just easier for some people like myself to rather fart around with that IPI bullshit stuff to just go to a link. Like that's why the internet was invented, for ease, not to do that extra click, bro. I'm a lazy housewife. I don't do that shit.
Yeah.
You don't seem like a lazy housewife. You seem like someone who's doing some stuff, got some stuff on.
I'm only kidding.
I think Sammy froze.
Oh yeah, Sammy, you're frozen for a bit.
So yeah, dude, what else is going on? Is there anything that, like, I've seen people talking, like certain accounts on Twitter talking about like whales dumping this, whales doing that. It's like, dude, I'm at this point where I do not give a fuck anymore about
Yeah, whenever I hear like it's whales, I'm always skeptical. It's like, and
whales dumping this, whales dumping. It's like I don't care. Okay, they're selling the bottom. Like, let them. Like, if that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Like,
yeah, you're just transferring ownership from one entity to another entity or several entities. Like it's fine. Like, as in, I don't think that's ever a problem for a cryptocurrency, people selling. I don't think this was whale driven. I think that document came out, even though it was an old document from like October. I don't think it had circulated yet. The one where it claimed something to do with Richard being served, or that they were kind of going to proceed as if he was served or something like that. And so
we were talking about that. Yeah.
I think that was maybe more of a catalyst, like either a reminder or people worrying that was going to make it go down, so then they sell or whatever. But
I'm just surprised people. I'm honestly surprised that people in this community or in the ecosystem are still getting spooked by
rookies, man.
anything.
Rookies.
They're getting spooked by. How can you be getting spooked this far in?
Total
Like,
rookies, man. Like
You've gotta
look at
have,
look
like,
at
a little
Bitcoin.
bit of,
Look at
should
Bitcoin.
be
Look at
water off a
Bitcoin
duck's back
go.
by now.
Yeah, Bitcoin has now shown that this is the whole, when you're in a bull market, it doesn't matter if there's bad news, the prices just go up anyway, right? And so it's quite obvious that we're in a strengthening bull market. And so the idea that anyone would get spooked by coin specific bad news is total rookie shit. Like, that's total rookie shit. And it is
For real.
disappointing that this SEC shit has just continued. Like, it has had such a prolonged negative impact on the price of this asset group. Shit, we lost Sammy again.
I think she's got a thunderstorm in. Have you got thunderstorm down your way?
Yeah, I was just gonna say goodbye, guys. It keeps thundering and I keep getting knocked off. I might just try and listen.
Do an outro. No, do an outro if you think you can. If you think the
All right,
connection
have I
can
got time
withstand
before I
it.
get knocked off again? Thanks for
Go for
having me. Good to see you.
See you, Sammy. Always good to see you. Always good to chat with you.
Always
Sammy.
good
Take
to see you
care.
too. Ta-da.
Bye-bye. Bye.
So I mean, yeah, I guess that it's not like, I don't want to paint this picture that it's the only thing that made the price go down, but I think it was a pretty big impact. Like, you can see some of the biggest drops in price were literally coincident with news relating to this particular topic. So I don't think it's a stretch to say that it's a fairly dominant theme. And then there's just all these flow on impacts, like Richard not being as active and people panicking and people creating all this like fear porn and imaginary horribles of like what could happen and pretending to be lawyers and all of this stuff. And so, yeah, I think the fallout and the contagion has been pretty detrimental. And also, we were saying in the Tang Gang, it's a total fuck up that for legitimate projects that are performing really well, when your base currency is just constantly taking hits, it makes your dollar chart look like shit. You know what I mean? Like, we've got some very strong coins in the Tang Gang.
Yeah.
And they've performed reasonably well, even when Pulse has been going down. But the dollar chart, it still looks not that great. Like, sometimes, not for all of them. Some of them just look good regardless. But it doesn't help, right? Like, if you've got shit going up, it makes your whole ecosystem, everything that's built on Pulse, would look glorious if Pulse was just sort of moving up steadily, or at least just able to just maintain its price. But it just keeps fucking, like, are we below 50% SAC again? Like, we're below quadruple 05 or something crazy. It's insane.
Are we? Yeah, maybe we are. Yeah, we are.
It's fucking insane, bro. Like, yeah, just. You could round it to half, right? So we're back at 0.5 SAC rate again. It's just like, oh, come on, guys. Like, so yeah, it's
and HEX is like, you know, under 0.8 of a cent.
I mean, one of the hexes took a massive hit. Did I see a day where it like dropped 14% or some shit?
Maybe.
There was a day that was just absolute carnage for one of the hexes.
I was saying to Sammy, I haven't paid that much attention this week. We've been really busy, but hey, it is what it is. Look, and if we've been here this long, you know, I think we said this last week, that the hardest thing about any of this is just watching other stuff pump, like Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah.
And then just sitting there, like, holding on to your bags while all the other stuff is pumping. But hey, this is a part of it.
I still think Ethereum is wrecked compared to Bitcoin. And I've been saying this for a while now, that like, if you're going to
Explain,
hold one
explain.
of those two assets. Didn't I on a previous stream? Or was
Did
that on
you?
Crypto 7?
It might have been on crypto.
I
Why
went
is
into it
wrecked?
pretty
Just
extensively a
quickly.
couple of times on Crypto 7. But basically, if you just look,
quickly.
dude, if you the short version is go and look at a chart of Ethereum with a Bitcoin base, and then either tell me that you would definitely not buy that shit, or tell me that you are clinically insane. Like, it's one of the worst looking charts you've ever seen, bro. It's completely
Let's
wrecked.
bring it up. What is it?
Dude, it's so wrecked. ETH on BTC base. It's really bad, dude.
Trading view, yeah.
Yeah, you can find it on Trade. Do you want me to bring it up? It's just wrecked, bro.
Yeah, if
and
you can bring it
it's
up.
like, and
Save
you
me
know
doing it.
that, like, you know that with those, like, they're both fairly large cap coins, right? Like, as in they're the two largest coins. And so if you're going to hold, so it's not like, if you're looking at risk versus reward, right? You're just increasing risk and lowering potential reward. If you're choosing between Bitcoin and ETH, Bitcoin definitely better than ETH. But then if you want to do some other shit, like if you want to go way out on the risk curve and start buying like micro caps or something, then you're not even looking at these two assets. But if you were picking between Bitcoin and ETH,
Hey,
so
if anyone has tried to end a stake recently on Ethereum, be prepared to pay like 0.1 of an ETH.
What?
Minimum.
Fucking hell, bro.
0.1 of an ETH.
Dude, that's fucked.
To end a stake on Ethereum. Yeah, it's messed up. It's messed up.
What the fuck? But
So
they vary quite greatly, the end stakes, because it depends how long it is.
Yeah, so that would be a long one. That would be one like a 4-year stake.
Oh, bro, when you see this chart, bro, holy fuck. Dude, holy shit, dude. When you see this chart, I'm just bringing it up now.
What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen?
Hey, I can't turn that chart on. Am I not an admin? Are we on Discord Syndicate?
No.
I couldn't bring that screen up. Normally I've got like admin in here. But anyway, dude, look at this. That's the chart. Dude, so
is that this year?
ETH bros were getting like real mouthy and real excited about this pump here, right? So because this pump.
Can we zoom out a bit? Can we zoom out more?
One sec. So this pump here was a 7% pump against Bitcoin, right? So what do you want? What do you want? Zoom out. Oh, you want like more candles? Oh, dude,
I just want to see a bit
it just looks worse and worse. It just looks worse and worse. So these are daily candles. Oh, dude, I'll go to a weekly just so we can see what's going on. So,
it's not as bad as I thought though.
What? Bro, look at this shit. So
like it's pretty wrecked in 2020, dude.
No, but
in 2020 it was pretty fucking wrecked.
So this is 2017. This is May.
No, look at 2020. Look at 2020. Look how wrecked it was in 2020.
Yeah. It got wrecked. Yeah.
Like that's fucking mega
wrecked. But like the point is, look, we've got this red line is like a super long, like these lower highs have linked up from 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 4 lower highs have rejected this to create this trend line that's been going on for 6 fucking years, bro. And then now this thing is it's not even anywhere near that downtrend. And it can't even break out of this orange down. So this mega pump that happened the other day, that was a 7% move against Bitcoin, that all the ETH bros were getting excited about, was just only enough just to get it, like, just same as this one, basically just to bring it back up to this trend line so it could get fucking rejected. And it's just, dude, it's so
I'm interested to know, based on this, I'm interested to know what you
made a lower low here as well against Bitcoin. From this one was from back in like the previous month. So it's just completely wrecked. Oh, and I don't make price. I don't think about ETH. It's just
for ETH, like
now that PulseChain's
like,
out, ETH's pretty irrelevant to me. ETH is like my backup plan. If something failed on, like if PulseChain, the chain, had any issues, then I would go back to Ethereum as like my plan B. But for now, while PulseChain is functioning correctly and nicely, I just give zero fucks about ETH. For me, it's Bitcoin, PulseChain, and Tang Gang shit is all I give a fuck about.
Oh, and meanwhile, I
And
said
HEX,
that
obviously.
ending a stake on Ethereum was 0.1 of an ETH. Meanwhile, on PulseChain, ending a stake was like cents. It was cents.
Dude, when all this Web3 shit
Like a
happened,
long,
the
long
Web3
stake.
vulnerability, you know, all the third web shit.
Yes. Yeah.
People were, so I don't know if you guys saw, but the Tang Gang was quite on top of that shit thanks to Bullish and others and the artists. And so they were interacting with these other artists and developers from the ETH side. And it was the perfect pitch for PulseChain, because whenever they were like, fuck, this is costing me $200 or this is costing me $2,000 just to migrate all these contracts and make sure that my art patrons are safe. It's an easy, like, PulseChain fixes this type scenario where you're like, hey, like over on PulseChain, this would cost you like less than $1. And
Wall-to-wall TV is throwing shade, saying, "Bro, how are you laughing at this chart being wrecked while he's dumped 99.5%?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Did worse than Luna and
leave that
FTT.
comment up. I promise I'll get to that. I just want to finish what I was saying. There were big name artists who were total ETH bros and refused, the sorts of guys that used to say, if your shit is not on if your NFT is not on Ethereum, then it's not worth anything because all these other chains are for brokies. And Ethereum is the one true chain where shit actually has value. That's why the NFTs cost more. Who gives a fuck about the gas? Those same groups of people were saying after this Web3 happened and all these artists had to like pay thousands of dollars in ETH just to protect their users, there were people out there being like, all right, I've had enough of this high gas shit. We're not even in the like full most hyper section of the bull market yet. And the gas is pretty fucked. Fuck this noise. We're not doing ETH anymore, and even some of them were actually shouting out PulseChain, like, and saying, you know, I'm going to do my NFT shit on PulseChain from now on. So
I was saying that I was tweeting this the other day that we're not even in the
we've entered the hyper bull, but we're still in the we're at the inflection point where we're accelerating to the upside, but we haven't actually gone vertical yet. Like we haven't actually started those. We haven't actually started those really steep trajectories. By the way, I should be doing this other way around for the viewers. So if this is so we've had the upward grind. We've been in a bull market all of 2023, slow upward grind, and now we're at this point where we're just fucking ramping up, right? So shit's about to get real. Shit is about to get fucking real. And by the way, the pullback on BTC has made me more bullish, more bullish. So if there's one thing that made me like slightly less bullish, my increase in bullishness was slightly reduced. So I still got even more bullish, but just not by quite as much as what it could have been, because not everyone was starting to immediately call for massive corrections on Bitcoin in this latest pullback. So more people are starting to realize that we're in a bull market and they're less scared and they're in less disbelief, which is actually technically bearish, right? Like, but obviously it's not enough bearishness to overcome net bullishness, like a net bullish increase. So let's get to this question. Sorry, can you pull that question back up? The one that, because I don't want to sound like I was trying to ignore what it was about, but I just wanted to finish saying that because I thought it was important.
No,
so how are you laughing?
I think he was looking at the chart. I think he was looking at the chart. No, but I think he thought that we were looking at like a HEX or a Pulse chart. I think that's what he thought. But he did. He said a bit further down. He apologized. He said, "I'm just."
So the other thing is, in fact, so we know that this is not what he was saying now. But let's like ask a different question that didn't get asked, not accidentally or deliberately. Say someone was to say, how can you be laughing at Ethereum's performance when your favorite asset HEX is down like 98% still or
Yes.
and my answer to that would be my statement was relative, right? I was saying wrecked compared to Bitcoin. So and remember I said, if people want to go further on the risk curve or they've got different investment theses or whatever, but if you were purely choosing between Bitcoin and Ethereum, they've got sort of like similar narratives, similar caps, similar sort of shit. ETF, both of them potentially have got ETFs coming up. You've got like strong brand awareness in both, strong communities in both, like quite good developer communities in both. There's a lot of similarities. So if you were choosing between these two assets, personally, and obviously this is never financial advice, I think it would be laughable to choose ETH over Bitcoin at this time. Then in the future, there might come a point where that changes and it's like ETH becomes a good buy relative to Bitcoin. So, but yeah.
So I've got a question in relation to that, because I mean, I don't trade between the two, so I don't play that game. You know, others might, which is absolutely fine. The question I have is, so where do we think each could go? And wouldn't you say from where we are in ETH and where Bitcoin is, wouldn't we expect to see more X's in Ethereum than Bitcoin in the coming year and a half? So wouldn't we expect like Ethereum to like do, you know, 7.5 to 10 grand, like comfortably, and then with Bitcoin?
So I think the way that you're framing it is ignores that you don't want to hold something that is going to perform worse against something else in the hope that in the medium to long term, it's going to outperform, even if you're taking now as the starting point and you're like, crystal ball, this one's probably going to outperform better. You just always want to be in the best performing asset. And this chart looks wrecked. So, I think if that was your thesis, then you would say, I'm going to wait and then invest in ETH, or I'm going to wait in Bitcoin and then switch to ETH. I wouldn't say I'll start in ETH now, even though it looks like it's going to get fucking wrecked compared to Bitcoin, and just hope that it doesn't, because anything can happen, right? I just don't think this chart looks very good. So what ends up happening? Wouldn't you be better off just not, like if you're keen to wait on the sidelines, then you would just wait on the sidelines. If you want to hold a crypto, then wouldn't you prefer to hold the one that's more likely to perform better in that interim period before you make the decision that you want to be in the other one? Although I guess all of this stuff comes down to timing the market, which is notoriously difficult to do. So maybe that would be the best argument for what you're saying, is if you want to avoid that headache of like potentially fucking it up, and like then you just buy one.
So I guess the point I was making, the point I'm making is that Bitcoin is less than 50% down. ETH is more than 50% down from its all-time high. So if we're talking about getting back to all-time highs,
I think
if
we generalize, generalize this thing that you are saying, then I think it's a very, very, very bad way to invest. Like that narrative of something is so far down that, and I think I've actually said this on this channel. Now, I don't think this necessarily applies to Ethereum. So I'm not suggesting that what you just said is a bad idea. But I think if we, like I said, if we generalize it, So I'm just highlighting that because typically the things that are really down bad don't get up, don't get back up. I think HEX will be an exception to that rule.
Yeah.
So, and it's typically a bad investment thesis. To the look at how many X's it would do if it got back to all-time high is notoriously bad framing, because it assumes that it could even get close to its all-time high again, which most coins don't do once they're down. Now,
And let me just address the question in the form that it was put as well. So let's assume we were looking at like a HEX chart that looks pretty wrecked, pretty wrecked. Yeah. So the reason, you know, I'm not sitting here making light of that. I mean, it's been a tough bear market for hexagons to sit through. I guess the one thing that a lot of hex, and this is not all of them, obviously, but a lot of hexagons are heavily staked. So they're not going to be selling those tokens that are staked, and B, those staked tokens are earning them more tokens. So that they are mining in the meantime. So whilst they've been completely, we've all been like wrecked pretty hard, like a lot of tokens out there. Like, let's be honest, a lot of stuff out there wrecked pretty hard. The difference, I would say, is that we've got immutable code that is paying us to hold. So, you know, if that's, I guess that's the silver lining, I guess. Now, you know, are you going to have some tokens to sell when the price is up? Well, that depends on whether your staking ladder is set up in a way that you know gives you some tokens at reasonable intervals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that would be how I respond to that.
I think what you said is quite reasonable for assets like Ethereum and HEX, right? So, like, I don't think it's unreasonable. I should say it like that. I don't think it's unreasonable to suggest that ETH can go and make new highs. Maybe not necessarily against Bitcoin, but certainly in dollar terms, right? The narrative that I've heard that I think is the largest threat to Ethereum not going and putting in a new all-time high, even in dollar terms, is that one of these other chains actually takes over as the dominant smart contract platform. So it could be PulseChain, or viewers can choose their own favorite L1 or L2 or whatever. Because you know how like this idea of an ETH killer has been around for a long time, but it's just never happened before.
Yeah. Yep. I think you know, if ETH is completely unusable,
that could be
at the
part
height of the hyperball, like people, and you just cannot use it. And then as a community, we do a good job of reminding people that they have tokens on PulseChain, that they can just go and look at these tokens on PulseChain, even though they're probably not going to be worth much. They might be worth something. Like, you know, in a bull market, who knows what they're worth, man? Who knows what some of these
also
things
remember
go up
that
to.
Most EVM chains that were sort of pitched as scaling Ethereum, including PulseChain, by the way, I don't think, like Richard used to correctly say, we're going to help ease the burden, the load on Ethereum by stealing users. He never realistically thought that it's a scaling solution, right? Like he used to talk about this whole, like you open up another McDonald's or whatever, but it's like the scaling solutions in blockchain have to be like cryptographically attached to that chain. You don't just, so many of the EVM chains that claim to scale Bitcoin are bullshit. They're not even, so that, because they've got their own token, they're competitors. They're not scaling solutions. And then there are some that are like legitimate L2s. Maybe look, it's possible that an actual legitimate L2 solution will get created that will solve the Ethereum scaling shit. Solve it enough to keep those base fees down. And
well, I mean, do you even need a scaling solution once you've got something like ThorSwap? Like once you've got a
I
way
think
to
you
trade between
do.
different chains, that it sort of solves a lot of issues because you can just go from one EVM to another.
But you can't. So say say if what you're trying to do is you're trying to scale the ability to use Ethereum. You're not necessarily just trying to go to a
You want more
completely different
throughput.
ecosystem where your shit's not there anymore.
Yep.
You might still
Good
want to be
point,
like,
good point.
doing all the things that you can do on Ethereum, trading the same tokens and that sort of shit.
You want that
you want
ecosystem. You
that
want the Ethereum
ecosystem, yeah.
ecosystem. You just want it to work. You just want it to work.
Yeah, you just want to pay
well.
less
You
fees
just want
and
it to
make sure
actually
that
work.
so yeah, I think this hyperbull is going to be quite interesting, and I think that there's nothing that really concerns me that much. Like as in I'm not really worried about any shit. So all the stuff that's coming up right now, like ordinals and inscriptions and freaking people claiming that, you know, Bitcoin's getting co-opted by institutions and, you know, ETH, like all the narratives of people saying that government won't allow this to happen, and what, like, choose your sort of like annoying threat vector. And I don't think any of it. The only thing that does annoy me a little bit actually is the damage that was done to all RH coin tickers that was unnecessary and ongoing.
Due to the SEC's
Yes, but note that
civil
it does
action.
not concern me going into, like, so I'm annoyed by it, past tense. I don't see it as something, because I think all of that damage has been done, and you can't, like, people get fatigue, right, from having the same bad news just over and over and over and imagining all the fear and shit like that. Eventually people just people just stop giving a fuck, or the assets get transferred to people who don't give a fuck.
There's comment here, which is, I guess, a good way to look at it if you're looking for a silver lining. HEX sacked for Pulse at 15 cents, all-time high, of which was most, sorry, I'm reading like a 6-year-old right now, is still in profit. It's like having 7-cent HEX right now. It's math. I see what you're getting at there. So if because it's down 50% from the sack rate,
I've never
then
personally
it's
been
like
a
having
fan
7
of this
cent HEX.
particular logic. I know that some people use it to cope.
No, it's
I
trying to frame it.
I like the positive
positively,
framing,
I think.
but I sacked a fuck ton of stables, and so that shit doesn't apply to me. And people got different bonus rates, and people got different. Like, I don't think the math is sound, but if you give the assumptions, and you're saying, assuming that someone's sacked with this currency at this time in this amount, then for that particular user, and assuming that they didn't stake and didn't do any kind of like trading or any shit that benefited them, like that they literally just sat on liquid HEX and didn't do shit, then, and didn't get the fork, because then you wouldn't have got, like, if you had been holding liquid HEX, you would have also got the fork. Like, so I think it's slightly naive to have this very simplified approach that someone in that situation would have literally done nothing with those coins that would have earned them in some kind of other benefit.
I think it's just a way to frame it so that, you know, there's so much negativity out there.
I think
that
in that sense,
let's just
it's
frame
fine.
this aspect of it. It's you know, in
The
this way.
that point I just made accidentally, not accidentally, but that point I haven't heard anyone make that point before, about when people use this logic, they're not including the forked coins that you would have got, because you would have definitely got a fork if you're holding the liquid.
Yes.
So
correct.
yeah.
you're missing out on your PulseChain hex now. Do you know what? So I heard some people, you know, me personally, I haven't sold a single pulse, but apart from, you know, gas fees and whatever, not selling it, but just using it. But I know that some people did buy back their SAC hex at the 2 or 3x when Pulse was at a 2 or 3x SAC price. So they got back all their hex. They went and bought all their hex back on the on PulseChain.
Yeah, my pulse count, like my amount of pulse, has definitely gone up. Like I haven't done the math to know exactly by how much, but it's definitely gone up from what I had at SAC.
Yeah.
Like, so I've been a net accumulator of pulse and since the launch, and shit, yeah, I wouldn't know for hex, like as in just because there's two chains, and like sometimes when I do all my stuff on PulseChain, by the way. So when I'm messing with hex, I'm doing it on PulseChain, but I'll sometimes just mix up which one I'm using and what I'm doing and shit. You know what I mean? Like as in, because both my hexes are on PulseChain. So sometimes I'm working out which one I'm using just by my rough memory of which one had what balance in what wallet. So it gets confusing quickly. But
dude, we've been going for
keen to amp,
almost a couple of hours. Do you want to anything you want to say to wind it up before we wind it up?
So what do I want to say as an outro? I'm bullish as fuck. I haven't actually checked. I haven't checked my hope. So in fact, I'll just super quickly share this pulse chart. Share screen, pulse. So this is a pulse chart. I am hoping, so there's this ascending channel here in orange. So even though this is super annoying to be all the way up here and be like, yay, because I'm convinced we're entering the hyperbull, and then to have this happen where it drops like 30. So I know that a 33% drop in a bull market is actually healthy as fuck. But if you've been going up, like if you've actually been making gains, like, so for Bitcoin to pull back 30%, I'd be okay with that because it's been rocketing, but we've barely got off the bottom. So it's a different sort of, it's a different time of the market for this asset. But the point is that even though that is savage, to be doing well and then to have like a third of the price just get wiped again, we have been making higher lows and higher highs since August, effectively since the crash, like effectively since that big SEC, the SEC crash that took us down from base SAC price all the way down to like a third of base SAC price. We've effectively been in an uptrend ever since. So,
man, the SEC has like really
raped us, bro. Raped us. Absolutely raped us.
Like talk about the SEC is supposed to protect
just
consumers.
Absolutely fucking rinsed us. So it's lucky we're one of the strongest communities in all of crypto and all of non-crypto. Resilience to the max and freedom focused and can't be broken, apart from like a few weaklings. But that's called, what's that shit? It's like the culling the herd or whatever. So the SEC came through and culled the herd. We got rid of a few weaklings, and now this is the same shit. In my mind, it's similar to what we've been doing with Bitcoin all year. The trend is up, but people don't notice because it's so painful and repetitively, like it's either not exciting or downright painful, as there's like these big drops and shit. So you're never getting any joyous feeling except for maybe at a day at a time. And then suddenly you realize that you're 4x the price or 2x the price or what, like, let's measure this. And I promise this will be the end of my outro here. That was over a 2x, bro. So from down here to up here, it did over a 2x. But it was no, like, you didn't see anyone being like, yeah, I've made 2, or very few people were like, yeah, Pulse is up 2x, because it was just at the tail end of some horrific shit, right? So this is like the slow climb. And then notice what I warned everyone would happen with Bitcoin is when it goes really hard and really fast. Like the people with recency bias and the people in disbelief will disagree with me, even when it's breaking out, by the way, even when the shit is breaking out. And I'm like, this is what I've been talking about. This is what happens when you slowly grind your way up and then you break out. People will still just be like, nah, this is another fake out. It's a bull trap, etc. So this is actually a very positive picture that is still annoying the shit out of me. I want to go up. I've had enough of waiting. I want, like, obviously the rest of crypto is already starting to pop bottles and shit like that. And so I want this higher low to hold. So this is actually the second time that it's come down to this line recently, which is doesn't fill me with confidence, but at least the trend is still intact. So go PulseChain. Let's fucking go.
Go PulseChain. And this thing about like it pumping up and then getting sold down and then pumping up and getting sold down, it's gonna probably do this a bit, but and there's, you know, there's traders in the mix going back and forth. There is a point where some traders get left behind.
Yep.
Because they just sell on the wrong pump, because they'll get to what they think is the top of a pump. They sell thinking it's going to dump, but then it just keeps going, and then they have to buy in higher if they want to get back in.
You could be playing a range.
So I think
perfectly.
this is just going to keep
playing a range perfectly, and then if it ever goes outside of that range and doesn't come back, like if it breaks and goes either up or down, then you're screwed. Like you're going to be caught on the wrong side of that.
And I think that's what needs to happen.
And by the way,
before we can
the
really
amount
go
of
up.
money that people typically make by playing a range is insignificant compared to how much money people make by holding massive breakout moves to the upside. So you definitely wouldn't want to have zero exposure to an asset that you like, assuming that's PulseChain, when it starts to actually rocket.
Absolutely, because we really don't know what it could do. There's a lot of different people throwing out different numbers out there. I have no idea. I'm positive about it. I think there's a big community. I think PulseChain offers a hell of a lot. There's a lot that you can do on PulseChain. I think that come the hyper bull, NFTs will just be unusable on Ethereum. And I don't think that there is really another chain that has such so many options when it comes to NFTs, like whether it be different marketplaces or just communities that are into NFTs. So, and Tang Gang are at the heart
Tang Gang's
of a lot of
NFT
that.
game is strong, dude, like really strong.
And I just know this not from firsthand experience, just from what you've told me and what I have gone to a few of the different sites. They're not all. I think there's only 1 or 2 Tang Gang sites that I've looked at, but like I've seen other sites, and there's a lot out there. So I think when all that happens and it's unusable on Ethereum, I think PulseChain is going to be the destination. People who have NFTs on Ethereum are going to have an NFT on PulseChain, a duplicate NFT of PulseChain if it's an NFT from last
Yeah.
cycle.
Yeah, and in fact,
Who knows what's going to happen, man?
Marketplaces like NFT on Pulse and Pulse Market have put, and I'm not sure about Beatbox, but maybe have put a lot of effort into actually displaying the image that matches up to those forked NFTs, so that if ETH people do come over, they will actually see their. So it won't just be all like broken links and no images and revoked permits,
which is
and shit.
awesome.
Like it'll actually be, which is awesome, dude.
That's very,
I've
very
actually
good of them
sold,
if they did that.
I've actually sold or at least listed for sale forked NFTs. It's pretty crazy.
Look into this. I need to look into it a bit more. I've been sleeping on the whole NFT thing. I need to look into it a bit more.
I mean, I actually had fuck all NFTs on ETH. It was really just those Pokegon ones that I had. They were really the only NFTs I ever really had. And yeah, dude, like come and check out come to a Free Mint Friday and just like grab some free NFTs, and then for free or for the price of gas, you can actually fuck around with these marketplaces, list your NFT for sale, and so you're just experimenting with the actual tech for free.
Do you know if any platform has done the thing that X2Y2.io has, which is the private sale of an X2Y2.io? It's a website. It's an NFT marketplace on Ethereum.
No,
it's a front end for an Ethereum NFT marketplace, but it's got a very useful feature, which is you can list an NFT for private sale. So you supply the buyer's address, and then only the person who has access to that address can go and purchase it.
Yeah, I think NFT on Pulse has already built that.
But the thing was that on X2Y2.io, if you did that private sale, there was no transaction fee. And that was awesome. The idea that there's no transaction fee on a private sale, so you're not paying 2% of the stack of whatever you're selling. I thought that was really cool.
So it's almost like an OTC.
Yeah,
dude,
it's like an OTC.
If NFT on Pulse has not already built this, they are building it. So I'm from memory. It's one of those two. It either already exists or they're building it. I
NFT
swear.
on Pulse. Yep.
Yeah, NFT on Pulse.io. They are Chads, and they're because I remember them talking about this idea of. So the one that I want, and again, they may have already built this because this is they're building quite aggressively. I want the ability to send bulk NFTs, so I can just go and be like, this entire collection, this entire collection, this entire collection sent to this wallet, so that you don't have to be sitting there sending individual NFTs. That's what I want. Also, I want a Blur style marketplace where people can put bids on either entire collections or a certain trait. So say, for example, I'm willing to pay 1 million Pulse for any Pulse OG NFT that has black sunglasses. Like, so Blur was the first on Ethereum to allow that to happen, so that you can actually have, so it creates a bit more of a marketplace where you've actually got bids for certain NFT collections or attributes. And then you've also got the ability for people to sell, which is pretty standard. That's all marketplaces have that. So it brings the bid side of the order book. And then the other thing I want cow swap style gasless limit orders, which I think Tetra might be working on. They claim they've done limit orders. I don't know if you can do gasless ones. Someone said, I heard a rumor that KDP is in the process of convincing CowSwap, more than just what I
as well.
Did you hear this? So more than just, I used to just tweet at them and be like, hey, CowSwap would really like you guys to bring your tech over to PulseChain, MEV protection, limit orders, gasless transactions, or gasless or ARBed limit orders, whatever you want to call it, all that shit. CowSwap is the Don. it's possibly CowSwap, I think, is the only thing I miss about Ethereum. Of all the shit that I used to do on Ethereum, it has been fully replaced by Chad devs over on PulseChain. But CowSwap is one thing I often think to myself, fuck, I wish I could have an equivalent over here on PulseChain. So you also heard this rumor that KDP is actually involved in getting them to actually bring their tech over?
Yeah, I did hear that, or something
Cool.
along those lines. I also heard that someone else is working on gasless
Yeah.
and I can't remember who it is.
So we're definitely getting there, man. We're definitely getting there. Like all of this stuff. I think liquid loans was actually a major step in the right direction.
Tetra does have limit orders, not
Tetra
gasless
released
compound limit orders soon.
I always like to shout out Internet Money Wallet, so Internet Money Wallet has now got a different type of DEX aggregation. Have I mentioned this before on this stream? Where it's a bit like what DeFi Llama. So DeFi Llama has a swapping protocol where it aggregates in terms of showing you all the different DEXs that you can use and what deal you'll get. So it doesn't actually route a path through multiple DEXs. So this is different from Proteus. But with Internet Money Wallet, Proteus is actually one of the listed options, right? So you've got, so you can hop on Internet Money Wallet. You can say, I want to trade this much of this token into this token. And then it'll bring up, PulseX will give you this deal. Proteus will give you this deal. 9-inch will give you this much. 9mm exchange, which is probably going to be one of the most competitive because it's got the V3 pools. And then obviously Proteus, I expect, will usually be dominating that shit because it's got the smart routing. I imagine Tetra must be eventually added to that list as well, right? Because they also claim to have their own path routing thing, right? So that's awesome. We've got heaps of awesome shit. I think
there's more coming.
Everyone's wish list, whatever is on your wish list. In fact, put your wish list in the comments below. I would be interested to see what is something that you wish you had if you could just click your fingers and have.
I mentioned mine. What was yours?
Yeah, 43's. Yours was
the OTC, the no commission OTC NFT trade to a private.
Well, we've got 0 fee NFT sales on. I'm told, I haven't done it yet, on HEX Toys. So HEX Marketplace, HEX Toys Marketplace, I'm told is marketplace fee free. So there's no fee to the marketplace. Whether there's a fee, like in terms of royalties to the artist or the fees to the network and shit like that, that's a different story. But the marketplace, I'm told, has 0 fee. And I believe NFT on Pulse has either built or will build your OTC request. Mine is the Blur style NFT bid shit and CowSwap. They would be my wishes.
Internet Money Wallet, I did have a look at that. I really, really like it. Congrats to the guys, but I did have trouble connecting it to some of the some of the sites. For example, the HEX, the go.hex.com.
I think I know why. So they upgraded to Wallet Connect 2, and I apologize if I get this the wrong way around or whatever, but this is roughly what happened. They upgraded their shit to Wallet Connect 2, and then the Wallet Connect mofos were like, Wallet Connect 1 and 2 are not compatible or some shit. So it's like, if the site uses Wallet Connect 1, then Internet Money Wallet can't connect to it because it's actually using the upgraded, better version of Wallet Connect. So that's the fault. In my opinion, that's the fault of Wallet Connect. They didn't make their shit backward compatible. Like you should be, if you're using the latest shit, it should just work with all of their previous shit.
I think of it in like, well, why is it that for example, Rabby or some other
Rabby
wallets
connects a different way. Rabby, I think, mimics MetaMask.
Yeah.
So that's why often when you click connect with MetaMask, it'll use Rabby.
Yeah.
So Rabby steals, so you know how there's that button in Rabby where it's like you click it and it gives the permission to either MetaMask or Rabby. It switches it.
Yes. Yeah.
So basically the way this works, right, is
so Frame does this as well. Frame Wallet does this as well. So Frame is a desktop wallet which gives you an extension, which will then the desktop wallet connects to the extension. But in the extension, if you click on it, it says inject as MetaMask.
Yeah.
So you can tell it to inject as it. So as far as the website knows, it's MetaMask. It's a MetaMask wallet.
So yeah, so unfortunately, the general problem is that you've got a browser and then all of these extensions are trying to fight over these specific parameters that allow them to work. And so that's when you get all these like conflicts and shit like this. So they've actually all done quite well to not be continually treading on each other's toes and just like breaking each other's shit. And because one of the methods would have just been, they could have just come out and said, if you're using our shit, you need to remove all the extensions of other Web3 wallets, otherwise our shit won't work. That would have been one solution. It's just say, shit.
Why would you ever have more than one extension in a fucking browser? I don't get it. Why would you ever do that?
It happened to me because when I went from
Just
when I was
make a new browser.
when I was say I was transitioning from MetaMask to Rabby, I had both. And then when I was testing Internet Money Wallet, I had all three. And so
But you can just set up a new like browser. You set up another like profile if you're using a Chromium browser. You can just set up a new profile, and then you've got all these individual profiles that can be totally independent of each other.
But then do you lose all your shit and have to set up all your shit again? Like all your if you set up a new profile, it's like all new bookmarks and like all new settings and all that shit. Like I don't want to have to do all that shit. Like so,
we are set up differently, dude.
I guess
I don't keep that much shit in browser. Like,
I mean, I guess yeah, you could import bookmarks and shit like that. But as in, I would just prefer the tech just works flawlessly, like than me having to like find workarounds. But that's a fair comment. At least you've raised another strategy that someone could use if they're finding that they're having. But my point was that these all these browser extensions have actually solved this issue to a degree fairly elegantly, and so people might complain that it's not flawless, like it has problems, but it's better than it could have, like way better than what it could have been for how much these things actually conflict in theory. So yeah.
So my approach, as this probably sounds very ignorant to any coder or dev who's listening, but my approach would be pick the code that interacts with dApps the best, which is, this is the logic I'd use, which is MetaMask. That interacts with dApps the best out of everything as far as connecting. It's the most
like reliable
recognized wallet, and then mimic that shit. Like mimic whatever connection like shit that they're using. Like
because you're saying almost all sites do at least MetaMask.
Yes.
And then maybe plus other shit, just because it was like a first mover.
Yeah.
So I guess Rabby used the strategy that you're talking about.
Yeah, and so does, like I said, that other wallet that I was talking about, which is called Frame. Yeah, you can tell it to inject as if it's MetaMask, and then the website, the dApp thinks it's MetaMask. So that's useful as well. But look, we've gone.
Sorry, man. You know I'm known for having the longest outros in the game. But do you know what happened? We actually got into interesting topics as we were trying to sign out, and I think it was worth people hearing what we just discussed.
Oh, absolutely.
I've really enjoyed the conversation tonight. Thanks again. It's always a blast. And I'll catch you all. And thanks for everyone coming. Sorry that we didn't get to comments and things in the stream. That would have probably been a great addition to the stream. And
I want to thank everyone in the chat, because I've been noticing we get a good like about 500-ish views every week.
Damn.
And it's the same. I know it's you same 500 people who are listening. So shout out to you guys. We appreciate it. I definitely appreciate that you guys come back and listen. You know, maybe you're just trying to fill the time in your day or whatever it is, but I appreciate it nonetheless. If you can, if you've got time, click the thumbs up. And yeah, well, unless you've got anything else to add, Tangent, we'll see you next time.
That's all. That's all. Shout out Tang Gang and shout out PulseChain. Let's go.
Cheers, mate. Take it easy.